Hey yo, ladies and gentlemen, my he's, she's and theys, we are here today, gathered in the most beautiful way. That was off the dome as well, bro. My name is Levvy. This is Sir Shammy Dalton.
I ain't got that yet. I don't have that yet.
We're getting there. One of the finest documentors of youth culture in Brighton thus far.
Thank you, bro.
It's a great pleasure to have you on. Probably
pleasure to be here, bro.
Almost definitely the best dressed in the room as well, I gotta say.
That is cap. Have you seen it, bro? Look around, bro. Come on. That's not true.
I'm trying to be nice, man.
Also, you got the zesty lime green going on here.
After me, obviously. After me, yeah.
I can tell you
Okay,
that.
cool. Thank you so much for coming. We are now going to close this ceremony and beautiful evening we've had with some chat, basically. And also, kind of a little bit differently to our panel talks we've done so far, it is open for anyone to, not literally, don't just tell us to stop, but, at any given point, you can, raise your hand, ask a question, basically, and Isaac will come bring you the mic. We kind of want to make it a bit more interactive, and a bit not like you're just watching us have a chat. We want you to kind of be involved as well, if you'd like to be. Also don't have to be. Anyways, we have some questions here, and this is eott, in collaboration with Lighthouse, sponsored by Beak Brewery as well, sponsored by Fat Mano, which feels pretty cool. And now featuring the amazing Shammy Dalton, so please can we make some noise for Shammy?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Gassing me, bro. And Karma Cola as well. Karma.
And Karma.
Thanks for the spot.
So, firstly, we always like to ask, how are you, brother?
I'm good. I think after speaking to everyone a little bit, doing a bit of painting and drawing, I feel much better. It was a bit of a busy day, but I was looking forward to this and I'm feeling good about it and I'm happy to be here. It's a great space, great people. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, man. I'm good. I've said this in all of them. It's always really nerve-wracking doing the events. And not going to lie, there's a lot of days where I'm like, oh, man, like, what are we doing this for? Do you know what I mean? Like, it could be painful, But today, a day like today is so enriching.
Yeah.
And I feel really good about it. So
Definitely.
Thank you to everyone for coming.
Definitely.
I'm good, man. Right, man, let's get straight into it. Bobby as well, you're going to have to kind of watch us on the time, wherever it is. Okay, so the first question is, to you, what does it mean to be well?
It's a good question, and I think if I knew the answer fully to that question, if we all did, we'd not need to speak about it. So in that sense, I guess I'll never really know what it is to be well fully. We're always kind of chasing it, and I believe that it's not something that's fixed. I believe that it's kind of like a spectrum. So I believe in life there's two extremes to most things that we can think of. You've got the extreme, I'm feeling really bad. And you've got the other extreme, I'm feeling really good. You've got love, you've got hate, dark, light, of course, all these things. So I think it's just balancing that energy into the more positive side of things. And always trying to strive to reach that side rather than the other side, and making other people reach that side too. So, yeah, I would say it's a constant battle between that, the good and the very good and the very bad. You're never you might be at one point, like, for a short amount of time, but,
It's like tides, isn't it? Like in and out.
Exactly.
In and out we go.
Yeah.
So we've got to ride those waves.
Yeah, exactly that.
To be a bit more maybe specific, what does wellness look like to you? Like, what to you is like a good day?
A good day for me is when I can walk through the street with my shoulders up and I'm looking everyone in the eye and smiling, and they're smiling back at me. And I feel good about that, and I don't want to stay indoors. I want to get outside. I think for me personally, that I'm good if I'm making conversation, and I can be quite quiet sometimes if I'm not feeling well. So to me, I think it's a lot to do with interactions with other people, actually. It's just interactions, opening up and letting other people know how I'm feeling, because I think when I'm not feeling well, you won't really know too much. And I think that's the case with a lot of guys and girls, but a lot of guys really don't like to talk about it. And you know they're not doing well if they kind of like retreat back into their solitude.
I feel that. I feel especially as well on like the eagerness to sort of like indulge in life, you know what I mean, and face life. Like I certainly feel like that myself. On the days that I am good, I want to, I'm just more engaged. You know, I'm much more of an engaging person. I'm much more up for it, you know. But then like adversely on the other side, like I barely even want to leave my room sometimes, you know. I'll speak to anyone.
Yeah, that is it. You want to be in solitude. You don't want to show anyone that weakness, that you're not feeling good. Because it's obvious when you look in someone's eyes, if you really pay attention how they're feeling, you know. When you're actually having a conversation with someone, like, and you're paying attention to what they're saying and what their eyes are saying, you know. I think the eyes tell a lot, yeah.
The eyes never lie, Chico.
Exactly that. Put that on a t-shirt, bro.
Come on. Maybe put Al Pacino in there as well. All right, anyone in the room? What does wellness look like to you? Have you got any hands? Go on, Marshall, take it away, honey.
Wellness looks like being able to get up in the morning, make some tunes, being able to, in all transparency, see how my mood is, because I got borderline personality disorder, and I think that's a very stigmatized mental health condition that isn't spoken about enough. So I feel like wellness in that kind of sense, especially being a black person, definitely looks like being able to gauge whether I've got the right amount of sleep, my meds are being taken, but also literally just being able to be my social self sometimes. But also, any creatives that are in here would know that like people literally meet the version of you that is always on stage, but they don't quite meet the version of you that is off stage. So I feel like wellness in a off stage kind of sense is being able to actually gauge whether people would still, excuse my French, like, you know, fuck with you, like when you're not feeling like yourself. Because I feel like for me at this point that being my true self and being well would look like saying no to always having to be on stage all the time for people's entertainment, and actually being able to go, you know what, like, you know, I actually feel like not wanting to entertain people today, but still wanted to be around my ones who actually understand me for me, as opposed to trying to make me into some sort of like performative monkey that they want to, like, you know, see on mic or just shagging bars or literally just like singing notes all the time where I might not be in a space to. So I feel like wellness in that regard definitely means like having to accept yourself, having to look yourself in the mirror and be very comfortable with the quote unquote ugliness in which society deems ugly, but also literally just letting yourself know that you are enough, irrespective of your mental health conditions, irrespective of like what else you got going on. Because like there is somebody somewhere that definitely feels the same way that you do. They might not have the platform to actually be able to verbalize that, which is why that creative platforms like this one is very important, so that people in the scene can actually be able to openly talk about like what is typically taboo, as opposed to literally like, you know, shying away from that, because like, you know, mental health and the ongoing conversations around that aren't being spoken about enough in spaces where in which they should be spoken about. So that's what wellness looks like.
Bars. Yeah, man. Heavy. I ain't even got enough in response to that, to be fair. I think you answered all the questions. Appreciate that. Love.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. That was nice. Yeah, I think that just relates again about just letting your true self, wanting to show your true self and who you really are. And I think that relates. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So thank you, bro. All right, cool. Anyone else? Nah? We'll get, yeah?
Nice. One more, and then we'll move on.
Check. Hello. So for me, it's as simple as presence. Like if I'm present, then I'm happy, or well. Like even if I'm not happy, even if I'm unhappy, but I'm unhappy here and now, then it's like I feel well. You know what I mean? Like
Definitely,
even if
bro.
I'm not feeling great, I'm not like stressing about the fact that I'm feeling down. So for me, it's just like present. It's just being here and now. And I'm whether or not I'm feeling happy or whether or not I'm feeling down, I feel stable. You know
Definitely,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So for me, it's presence. That's what makes me well.
That's a good word.
And also, I think like important there as well is the presence, even in the pain as well. Like it's like, you know, when you do fall down, like it can take a strength to be like, actually, no, I do feel shit right now. You know,
It's accepting it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you fight it, you're just doubling the pain. And if you accept it, then it's like suddenly it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, I feel shit. That's kind of all it is. It's not like the end of the world. I just feel terrible right now, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's powerful, man. Powerful. We've got to be able to accept it. Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
We was going to actually move it on and kind of keep it to one.
Okay.
But
That's my fault.
there is someone over here who wants to ask, or has got something to say. I'm enjoying the engagement as well, to be fair. So one more from the crowd, and then we've got another question.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I'm a bit nervous. I think wellness is, being able to leave the house. Because sometimes I feel like a proper recluse. Like, I'll have like one day of doing so much and then the next day I just need to chill. And like, it feels like my whole body just like hurts and my brain hurts and I just can't like socialise. But then like some other days be like, I just want to do so many different things. And I think when you have a day of like being productive, of like positive distractions, it's like really important because it keeps you present. And I do think that being in the moment is like the best thing that you should do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love that.
Cool. So I think we're on to the next question now. And my question to you is, how would you describe your connection to wellness? Is it something that you find easy to navigate?
No, but sometimes, yeah, but mostly not. I don't know, man. It's kind of like it has like
Exactly. Exactly.
like it has a bit of a mind of its own. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, and it can be quite, for me anyway, quite delicate, and it can be really annoying how sometimes, if I'm not careful and if I've not done the things that help my wellness, like, you know, sleeping properly and eating properly and engaging with life and, you know, talking about it, if I don't do those things, I can just like really fall off of the edge. So it's in some respects like a volatile relationship, I would say it is sometimes, but it's also fiery, and that fire is good if it's controlled, you know, and that fire is good if it's like managed in some respect or directed towards somewhere cool, and just it's not too crazy where you can still warm up by it rather than it like completely burning you. So I guess my kind of relationship, it's to and fro. And it's a good question, to be fair, man. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think there's being well or knowing you're well or unwell and speaking about being unwell are two different things completely, you know. And I think it's about, from what I gather, being aware of how you're feeling. And I don't think anyone can really say that's like an easy thing to do. So yeah, it's definitely the awareness, I feel.
You know, actually in that respect, I think I'm very aware of like how I feel, which is good. Like I definitely know what kind of keeps me ticking and what kind of stops the clock, you know. And also I feel like, I know where I'm at and I kind of know how I'm meant to get there. And like I know when I'm having a bad day and I know the kind of things that like wind me up, you know. But yeah, actually doing something about it sometimes is like a really hard thing, you know, and it can be really challenging, you know.
Definitely, I feel that you need to know where you're at, to know where you want to go or the energy that you want to put into it, to direct yourself into the place, yeah.
Yeah, like knowing where, I mean, you said it perfectly, to be fair, but also, knowing when you're on, where you're not at, do you know what I mean, and like where you want to get, where I want to get. I think, but also that can kind of hurt as well, like knowing that I'm not where I kind of want to be. On some days it's inspiring because I know where I kind of want to get to, but also on other days it's like, I'm not there yet, do you know what I mean? Like, why am I still in this fucking place, you feel me? So that's where it's like sometimes good, sometimes bad, you feel me?
And that's looking into the future a lot, I feel. But I feel it's also good to know how far you've come as well. And that's a good feeling in itself is like looking back after if you're feeling really bad, there's probably a really, really bad situation that you've been in the past that you've got out of. And in that sense, you know that you will eventually get out of it again, you know.
Yeah, I don't do that enough, to be fair. I actually don't. But there's certain times where I clock and like see kind of what we've built and are building. It is like, yeah, man, like we're actually in a wild different place.
Yeah, definitely. And I also feel that to be well, you need to know what it's like to be unwell, number one. And a lot of the times it usually happens in a moment of complete calamity that is just unexpected, that your whole world just crashes around you, and overnight it could be. And in those scenarios, I feel that you've hit rock bottom and you feel hopeless almost. But every one of us manages to get better still if you realize that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It's a strive. It's tough. But yeah, I feel like more so, even talking to my own self, more so I've got to be like, nah, man, like we're still here and we keep moving.
We're still here.
Should we open up to the room?
Definitely. Any hands? Yeah. Where's the mic? The question is, how would you describe your connection to wellness? Is it something that you find easy to navigate? I'll give you a minute.
So, member of the crowd.
Leo.
How would you describe your connection to wellness?
Library, please.
Well, I was just going to say about the navigation thing. I think for me it takes the experience of feeling unwell to be able to navigate it when I go through it again. It's not something that navigation is not something I've learned from my wellness. It's what I've learned from not feeling well. And I think, as you know, life is never all positive. It's kind of both, and the bad bits are inevitable. And almost what I've been through has been invaluable in teaching me how to deal with it when it comes again. It's absolutely not been something that I've learned through being well. And I think avoiding going literally into the pits of despair has, I think, also comes through as an equal, maybe if not more, effort when I'm feeling well to when I'm not feeling well. Because I think when you're not feeling well, it can be really, really difficult to put in that effort to make you feel better again. You know, you just have no energy to do anything or need to take kind of the easy route with everything. And so it takes, you know, so much like pre-thinking and like conscious effort when you do feel like you can deal with things, to make sure that you don't that you are staying conscious of where you're at mentally, so that you don't have to dig yourself out of a massive, massive hole from scratch, like when you're down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And out of curiosity, what is one way in which you do try and navigate it? Like the down days.
I mean, talking to people, that is massive. Everything gets so big inside my head, and I'm a massive overthinker. And talking kind of brings it out into real life, and it kind of feels safe when somebody else knows about what's going inside my head. And also walking is like a huge, I think the fight or flight response, like being able to tell my brain that I've kind of dealt with that threat, even if it hasn't, you know, actually been dealt with. Because when you make up problems in your head, there's no way you could deal with that in a fight or flight response, and your brain just can't go because it doesn't know that that's kind of wrong, because it doesn't know because it's not real. So, yeah.
Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. One more. Who we got? Just to switch it up a bit. Go on, let's hear it. From Pablo. Oh. Yes. This lady here in front.
Okay. Hi, I'm Pablo. I think one of the main difficulties with navigating wellness is that sometimes people will think it looks like one thing. When people go and kind of retrieve help, it's kind of like, you know, meditate, breathe, go and walk in nature. All of these things are absolutely beautiful, but sometimes you need to do a backflip, you know? Sometimes you really just need to shake your nervous system to its core and just remind yourself that you're actually alive and to re-stimulate your body. Wellness doesn't always look like one thing, and so I think sometimes it's difficult to navigate because it's like, okay, right now I must sit down and I must breathe and I must be still, but everything in my body is not allowing me to do that. And I think the difference between those two different things is what can make someone feel sometimes a bit more unwell. I think, like you were saying about awareness, it's really important to be able to tap into yourself. So being well isn't just about like how you feel, but it's about how aware you are about how you feel. I think that's definitely a trait that I'm trying to kind of, you know, it's not easy for everyone. Sometimes we have things that are deep rooted inside of us. So yeah, and it's so hidden and we don't know why we're acting or feeling the ways that we do. But I think knowing that these feelings are trapped in certain parts of our body and understanding, okay, I need to shake this part up, I need to kind of let this energy go from my back, or kind of really resonating with how these feelings feel inside of you in the moment, I think is definitely a better way at navigating it than kind of being like, someone told me I need to sit down and read a book. It helps, but not for everyone. Yeah. So yeah.
You choose your own path.
Exactly.
Okay. Also, as well, sort of mid-talk, I do want to shout out Elsa, who wrote all these questions, by the way. Big energy for Elsa. Superstars. And one of these, which made me laugh, is the next one. And it says, do you feel like wellness is a trend?
No, I don't. I think I didn't see this question, so this is this is straight. So wellness being a trend, I don't think it is. I think now we've opened up like the conversation of wellness. Like I mean, like it's very recent that even like things like therapy have been a thing. Do you know what I mean? And probably even like our parents' generation, that's like when it started to get accepted as like mental health being an actual thing that you can talk about, and actually there's a lot of different aspects to it. So I think it being a trend is like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because like I don't think it's a trend that's going to stop overnight. Do you know what I mean? I think it can only progress as we get closer as like a humanity to speak about these things and feel comfortable talking about these things, you know. I think it's a great thing that it is happening. And if it's a trend, then so be it, and let it carry on forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't it? Like everyone, like, are people gonna stop wearing jeans? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they're cool. Like, why not? But they didn't know about jeans before denim. Do you know what I'm saying? like keep wearing jeans, and you look cool doing it. And yeah, I mean that was the loosest analogy ever. But I think I hit it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You understand, right? If it's a trend, then carry on doing it. Like no one's gonna, yeah.
Perfect answer.
Take it away, bro.
Perfect answer, man. Yeah, that's way better than what I was gonna say, to be fair. So, has anyone in the room got an answer to is wellness is a trend? Marshall, right? You should be up here, bro.
I'm gonna get you to come through with a very unpopular opinion and get you to say yes and no. Now, I definitely do think that when it comes to wellness in and of itself, again, like it's a very never-ending conversation that definitely needs to be discussed, right? But I definitely do feel like there are nuances to it that definitely don't get discussed, because like wellness, especially when it comes to the racial aspects of things, they don't get discussed enough. And I feel like people's way to wellness, especially when it comes to culture, definitely do determine, like, you know, the generational patterns of how it was done and what kinds of cycles need to be broken down in order for like healthy wellness, whatever that may look like, to actually be implemented. And then the other aspects of it being a trend, I definitely do feel like, you know, when you see like, you know, celebrities trying to like endorse a product, And anyone who's literally got peas like that will definitely endorse something that they really shouldn't endorse, until it literally ends up like backfiring in the face. You know, for example, NFTs. Like, it's that's like the weirdest thing I've ever thought of. But like, it's literally that thing of like, you know, we appreciate the message, but like, are we trying to endorse the messenger because of what they look like, or is it a thing because like they're paying that you know, we're literally like taking it a bit more seriously because it's a certain person? Because like, there are certain people who have been treated like absolute rubbish that aren't even in this world anymore because of the fact that in the name of trying to be well, that how they go about it gets openly mocked. And I think that if there is going to be a discussion about wellness and the ongoing plan in regards to like how we go about that, I definitely do feel like there needs to be room for conversations about culture, about like race, and definitely about just elements of how generational trauma, like, you know, ends up actually playing a part in wellness, so that we as a human race, whether black, white, Asian, or whatever, that can actually be able to like have a very good sit down with each other and actually understand each other's perspectives. And then the trend will actually be like, you know, we've actually been able to be a lot more unified as a people in the ongoing discussion about it, rather than trying to move the goalpost as to what that looks like, and also as for who it should work for. So that's my unpopular opinion.
Thank you, bro. Question 3. Cool. Ready? Yeah? The next question, bro, for you is, do you feel like your personal identity, upbringing, and lived experience impact how you connect with the idea of wellness and well-being?
Yeah, I certainly would say so. I think, I mean, we've all heard this story before, to be fair, but I mean, obviously, I'm a boy, so that has had quite the impact, you know, locker rooms and, you know, changing rooms and stuff, and it just being, you know, so-called wet to cry, and, you know, being a pussy and all this sort of shit. So there's certainly that. I mean, it took me a long time to even contemplate the idea of wellness, you know, or well-being. I think due to that, also I come from like a biracial household as well. You know, my mum in attendance, G-Star, come on,
Big up.
holding down, you know, the Camden, the Jamaican side of the household. You know what I mean. And then also on the other side, you got my dad from Devon. You know, much more like sort of soft, basically, and just like airy, basically. But nonetheless strong in that, you know. And so I feel like even within that, you know, being like the split of, you know, my upbringing, there was kind of a more, I guess, sort of harsher approach to like, you know, man up and stuff. But it was also like the side of like, no, it's okay, you know. So it's been a mix, I would say. But a mix I'm thoroughly grateful for, though, because I feel like if it was both on one side, it could have just gone mad one way, or it could have gone mad the other way. You feel me? So yeah, with those few things, I mean, I could go on for ages about this, but yeah, there's my answer for now.
Yeah, I could go on for ages about this one too, bro.
What about you?
Obviously, I've grown up in Brighton, so from the early 2000s, you know, like, there wasn't many people, especially in my neighborhood, that looked like me. And the schools that I went to, I was the only black kid in a lot of those schools. And I say a lot of them because I definitely got asked to leave a few of them because I tried to be that naughty kid, do you know what I mean? I tried to live into this identity that I was given already before I even arrived at the school. You know, and my interviews at the school was all just like, kind of like, I felt different instantly. So I struggled a lot with my identity when I was growing up, you know, and that is due to the fact that I just didn't know what it was to be black, actually. And the only way that I did know that was through my mum and my sisters. And obviously, in that sense, it's great. It's a great support. But if you don't have like a male as well to tell you what it means to be a black man, it's completely different. So I feel that I tapped into that in my older years. Thank God for like creation and art and all of these different things that brought me and allowed me to meet people that did look like me, because I could have followed what the teacher was saying and gone into accounting or something like that, and and I probably would have been like, and not saying an accounting is like a bad job at all. It's not, like, I don't know why you're laughing. But yeah, I chose the creative route, and that was like my outlet. So I found myself through looking at like my history and my lineage in Kenya and what my ancestors used to do, like their practices and philosophies and all that different thing. So yeah, my identity is a keystone in my well-being, because without it, I wouldn't know who I am. So, and I didn't before, so I didn't know what it meant to be well. I thought I was a happy kid, but I wasn't, looking back on it, because I was acting, I was playing a part, and now I found myself, and yeah, and thank God for my outlets of creativity. So yeah.
Thank you, bro. I have a curiosity, and I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit more on how, like, your looking into your heritage more has, like, affected your wellness. Because it seems like from that answer there, before you did that, you didn't really have much connection with your wellness, but since then you have. So what does that more specifically look like?
I mean, in Kenya there's different tribes, and I'm part of a tribe called the Nandi tribe, and I didn't know that until I was a lot older. And a lot of their philosophies are based on the wisdom of elders, and that made me listen and appreciate to the elders that I respect a lot more, and taking the wisdom that they had to give me, and also different things like respecting just simple things like nature, like just appreciating the breeze, these different things, little things like that definitely had an impact on me, because and like stuff like our totem animal is an elephant, right? And there's like tons of information out there on what that means to the people and how they respect it and the relationship with the world and what they can't control and what they can control and how they fit into that. And I mean, yeah, philosophy, the philosophy is what I mainly took away from my ancestors, you could say, so the ones gone before. And every time I'm in Kenya, I just feel at peace, because I'm thinking to myself, like, I stepped in the same footsteps they are, and I'm just following the same steps and taking that to a different corner of the world, and I don't feel bound.
Yes, man. And now you're sharing the wisdom of us.
Somehow.
And then, so, yeah, we've got, how are we doing for time? Cool, we're blessing. Cool. All right, got a couple more questions then. But before that, yeah, anyone in the room, have we got any different voices, different faces? Brother over here, how has your personal identities, upbringings, and lived experiences impacted how you connect with wellness?
Hi, y'all. So, I grew up very kind of different from, like you were saying. I was the only mixed-race black kid in a school in Hong Kong. And so I was, had no anchor point or reference material on what I was supposed to be. And so the way that I looked at it was, it's up to me. It's fully up to me. I get to decide. I have the final veto, and I get to enjoy the journey. And really, there is nothing else to look at it. You can take away from what other people have said tonight. As long as you dive into the positive and go, hey, I'm feeling down right now, but I've got this, and this going on with this creative output. I'm working with these people, and it's new things to come. Identity plays into that, but it is, again, outlook, because it can be who you are, or it can be who you want to be. So, just enjoy the ride. That's all I really got to say.
Nice.
Yes, love that. Okay, let's keep it moving. Thank you, brother, for your honesty. Appreciate that. And for anyone as well. This is what we're all about, strength and vulnerability. Mm-hmm. So the next question is, thinking about social media Actually, it's probably one for me, to be fair. Let's scrap that one. Do you feel like the wellness industry is more centered around profit or personal growth?
I think... Exactly. That's what I'm going to say. I think it's hard to not be driven for profit in any sense of the society that we live in, at least. I mean, I think as a business, that's what we're built on, right? It's a capitalist economy. It's a capitalist society. The whole point is to encourage, encourage like diversity and competition. That's the word I was looking for. So naturally, in the society that we live in, there's going to be people that are trying to take advantage, and there's going to be people like people in this room right now that are going to create something amazing because they have the genuine emotion to and feeling. And anyone can make a business. You can all go on Company's House right now and become a business owner, right? But the point, and pay £12 and you're a business owner. So I think the defining factor is sifting through that. As a majority, it's going to be for profit, because that's what people, the big businesses, the big pharmaceutical companies, they got money to invest in that, and it's going to trickle down, and they're going to buy out the companies and buy out. A lot of it is for profit, but that doesn't take away the fact that there are genuine companies and foundations out there that are trying to make positive change. And I can't give the definitive answer if wellness as a whole is for profit. You just got to sift through it and see which ones are the genuine ones, test it out, try it out, do your research, and go with what feels right. I mean, you're always going to have that, yeah, always.
Yeah, man. That's all we can really do at the end of the day, innit, man? Go with what feels right. And me personally, man, I've actually answered this question a lot in my head over the 4 or 5 years of running this project, because it was, since the early days, it's been like a criticism, basically, of ours, that it's like, oh, you're just trying to profit of mental health, you're just trying to profit of well-being, rah, rah, rah. And to be blunt, yeah, we are trying to make money off of it, because we are also people like everyone else in the room, and we want it to be our job. It's still, it has to be a profit. We can't just go around doing everything for free. That's just how it goes. And over time, it's now something I have to not be fearful of. But yes, with respect to kind of what you said as well, that nonetheless, the genuineness has to come first, we're not just doing it to make money, we're doing it and we want to make money, you feel me? So I think that's really important, and that's my answer from being effectively in the industry and running this thing. But more sort of societally and culturally, I would argue that, yeah, there are some people that do try and benefit and profit off of wellness, but then at the same time I see them and I'm like, but they've got to feed themselves as well, So I feel like it has to be limited, if you're making millions off of it and you're not actually doing what you say you're doing, then that's dead.
I think
I mean?
It's about adding a positive contribution with the money that you do make and creating that positive economy and diverting it into positive things that will genuinely help the cause that you are looking that you are in, that you are making money off. Creating good jobs for people that also care, so they can spread that. It's just spreading it. It's creating your economy. You are creating an economy, and it's a positive one.
It is a positive thing, I think, and also even despite there being profit to it or making some money off it or selling t-shirts, whatever, it's it doesn't then, just because there is money to be made off of it, it doesn't mean that the message is thin, For some people it may be, but we've had a case before where, we kind of used a pamphlet and giveaway to, comment to enter the giveaway, rah, 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 and then to sell some clothes afterwards. And people are like, oh, you're just doing it to sell hoodies. And it's yeah, we do want to sell hoodies, but the message is still the same.
For a good cause, yeah.
It's still, that doesn't mean the pamphlet was any less true or meaningful. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I think, and I've been waiting 5 years to say that on record. And then, yeah, for the room. All right, let's go for the trilogy, man. Marshall, you're back, bro. Right. And then, is there one back there? Okay, two more answers from the people, and then we'll do a final question from Shammy. So, is the wellness industry more centered around profit or personal growth?
A wise person literally once said that money doesn't necessarily like change who you are. It literally just amplifies what's already there. And I think that of course, you know, just like you said, I mean, if I was to literally like take wellness and literally attach us to the music industry, seeing as like, you know, we've got musicians in the car, like myself, JJM, and whoever else is in here, like, you know, what we do to not just entertain, but to also like add wellness to other people's lives just through what we do. And just like you said, like, you know, we can't expect to literally do things for free, because like money is pretty much like the monetary resource that is actually used to actually like supply what people are wanting out of us. And what people don't also realize is that like it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and it also takes a lot of our mental wellness in and of itself to actually go into what we do as a creative industry to even supply positive beneficiaries of like wellness and mental health to other people who can actually be able to like use that and actually take advantage of that. So I think that in this capitalist world, I think that it's really just important that people know who they are deep down, like within themselves, to actually be able to be okay with making a profit. And irrespective of what anyone says, like, we all need money at the end of the day, like, you know, irrespective of who says what and who has any kind of opinion about or whatever, because like money is absolutely the resource that can actually provide a lot of life-changing moments for children, teens, adults. And with money being used the right way, it can actually also provide like a very generational wealth kind of thing to future generations to literally like pass that forward. So even if you do it for free, that's cool, and like, you know, we're not knocking you for that, but I definitely do think that it shouldn't be as demonized if you know who you are deep down. So if you're a waste man, then you're gonna have to live and die by the sword. But like for real, nah, if you're a waste man and you're literally like pretending to be someone that you're not in the name of like trying to implement wellness, then nah. But if you know who you are deep down and this is what you're really about, then do everything that you can and literally have people around you that truly support the cause to help you. Because like, if you want to go there the fastest, go at it alone, but if you want to go at it the furthest, do it together. That's all.
My God. That's a hat trick.
Man, we got to have you up here next time, bro. Chilling. Serious wisdom. Yeah, man. Fez, I know you got something good to say.
Yeah, this is an interesting conversation. So I was thinking at the previous one about whether wellness is a trend, right? My immediate thing was like, it's not a trend, but it's become commodified, which I think is problematic, because how is me being like a well human now a product that I need to like now like go and spend money to try and like be well or fit a model of wellness that I'm being sold, right? Because we're constantly being sold stuff, like on your phone, everywhere we're constantly being sold stuff. So that was my initial thought. And then this question came up and I was like, oh, okay, perfect, thanks. I was like, yeah, I was thinking on the right lines. And then it just made me think about like, I'm inspired by anti-capitalist thought, and I try and think about different ways that although I'm living in a capitalist world, how can I like subvert that or like fuck with that a bit? Because capitalism is based on exploitation, point blank. Like, even if you're a small business, there's a supply chain and someone's probably being exploited. And I think the more honest we are about having those conversations, even as small businesses, creatives, people who want to change like things, I think the more transparent we are about that and the more we talk about how fucked up that is, the better that is. Like, that is the way to go, right? So we're not ignoring it and being like, well, it's not me, it's those big guys up there. It's actually being like, well, actually, no, it's me too, but I haven't got a choice because this is the world that we're living in, like, based on exploitation, and often exploitation that we don't get a chance to see. So it's people in parts of the world that we're not even, aren't even in our, do you know what I mean, on our radar. And I think that's the problem. So, yeah, thanks.
Amazing. I agree. Oh, man.
Man, I felt like the energy in the room was like lifted, bro, man. That was lit.
Nah, definitely.
That was lit. Shouts to Fez.
I really appreciate that last one, actually. Yeah. Because I feel that also there's a big shift in the world happening right now. And all of us are a part of it, and with what's going on in the world currently, and the businesses that are profiting from all this bloodshed are really making us open our eyes to how inhumane that for-profit ideology can be. And I feel that it took something like this for us to really come together and actually realize what the hell is going on and protest. These protests are carrying on now, and they will carry on, because you can't sit back and watch this stuff happen, you know. So I feel that a shift is happening out of that horrible thing. And it's making us open our eyes a little bit more to the exploitation and how it was just kind of sliding by for so long. So I definitely agree with that last point, and I appreciate that. But I think, yeah, is it the last question, yeah? Last question. God, which one do I pick? We've got loads left.
Maybe a good one.
Okay. Reaching maximum wellness feels like the goal, but for most, if not all of us, it's not achievable due to a whole host of different circumstances and realities. How can we be happy with this idea of not being well all the time, instead embracing the ups and downs of life?
Yeah, I think you kind of said it there, to be fair. Like, it is just about embracing the ups and downs in life, you know. Actually, to give a specific example, those that know me well will be tired of me saying this now, but I've become an avid runner, basically, and I go running every day. See them laugh at me. She loves it. And I run every day, and it's like a certain route. Anyway, any time I'm going uphill, that's like the hard bit, you know. That's the bit where it's like, oh, fuck, man, like, this shit's long, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's the bit that hurts. And so what I do to myself, what I tell myself at that moment is I go, no, this is the best bit. Like, as I'm running along, I go, no, this is the only bit that's worth it. This is why I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And I didn't really notice, like, what effect that was having until now, and kind of more recently when I've, like, applied that same practice to my sort of everyday life, when, you know, it gets long making these videos, or, like, you know, the event is just, like, mad to organize, and, like, you're being tested, and, like, you're being strengthened and shit, and then I say to myself, like, no, like, this is the best bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the good bit. This is the bit that I'm getting the power from. You know what I mean? This is the bit I'm gonna like benefit from in the end. You feel me? And so that's how I get through it. You know, to give you a specific example, that's kind of how I try and get through the bad days and embrace it. But not only embrace it, but I just, like, encourage it, you know, and, like, enjoy it, you know, try and enjoy it in some weird kind of way when I'm having those bad days, or I'm just, like, feeling mad. I'm like, no, this is the good bit, you know. So yeah, man, that's it for me.
I feel you, man. Yeah, you definitely put it well there, man. With the running, how's that going? 5K, 10K.
Nah,
next
I don't do numbers, man. I don't do numbers. I just don't do it. I do it every day.
That's
so
good, man.
It's the mental task of it, like, getting out. Like, that's more important to me, to be fair.
Definitely.
And also, I just don't want to get on Strava, man, because I don't want to know how much I haven't run. You know. That's not why I'm doing it as well. Yeah, whatever.
Nah, I feel you.
What about you?
I mean, like, when I was really young, like, a horrible thing happened that made me kind of just like one of my friends passed away when I was very young, and that kind of set the standard for me. That was like, this is the low point, right? And from that point, I've had many peaks and troughs and all that stuff. So it is like a uphill, downhill kind of vibe. But I think, as I said in my last point earlier, like, you have to know, like, when your world crumbles down around you, that you will progress past that point, and it's okay that shit happens, like, and you can't rewind time. I know everyone in this room has sat there, closed their eyes, and tried to go back in time to, like, to relive a moment or just do something differently. And I think it's when you know that you don't need to do that, and life is carrying on in a linear motion, you know, you just keep going forward. As Dory said, keep on swimming. That's what goes through my head. You just gotta keep, and honestly, Nemo, like, stuff like that. Bars, bro. Like, Dory really set the tone for me because I honestly say that, like, in my head, keep on swimming, trust. Yeah, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
I didn't want to say, I didn't want to spoil it.
It's the same damn thing in my head, man. I'm keeping on swimming, just keep swimming. I'm going forward, you know. And once you realize that you just got to keep moving forward, yeah. You just got to do it. Any hands? Nah, bro.
Over it. Two people.
You already scored a hat trick, bro. You got to give it out to the another.
Share it out.
The question was, how do I deal with bad days, right, basically? Is that what...
Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, please.
It was reaching maximum wellness feels like the goal, but for most of us, it's not achievable due to a whole host of different circumstances and realities. How can we be happy with this idea of not being well all the time instead of embracing the ups and downs of life?
So I just
Instead embracing the ups and downs of life.
So I just rethought my whole answer then. I saw this post on Instagram and it was like loads of different cups of water at different levels. So, and it was saying that no matter how high the cup is filled, it's still 100%. So every day, it's kind of like subjective how much we think a good or a bad day is, you know what I'm saying? So for me, if I ever feel a type of way, and I've been going through a lot recently, I just think of, you know, I am where I am now, and this time will pass. So it's not necessarily forever. You know, like some days you wake up, you feel amazing, and it's easy to just do what you got to do. And then some days you just don't want to move, you know what I'm saying? But at that same time, you know, you have to respect where you are, because if you try to fight that, you only end up more disappointed. You know, so I am where I am, and this time will pass, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, I can kind of move on.
Bang.
But, yeah.
Perfect, man. Thank you. Yeah? That's the last one.
For me, balance is an extremely important thing in life. I think that wellness is balance, is finding peacefulness within yourself and feeling balance in life. So when you can find the balance and accept balance between the good days and the bad days, being aware of both of them, experiencing both of them, and just knowing that that's the balance of life, that's how you learn to navigate it. And being scared of the bad days is not necessary, because I did the highest bungee jump in the world when I was like 18. And and sometimes when I'm about to do something really scary, or I'm really scared that, oh, things are going to be so shit right now, they're going to be so bad, I always think about that moment. I always think, hey, just close your eyes and just jump. Just do it. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to be good. You don't know if it's going to be bad. And even the bad is actually good, because it teaches you to be yourself. It teaches you all the good parts of yourself. So, and the good things are good as well, but they can also be bad because then you feel comfortable. So everything is just balance, and it comes in different ways.
Amazing.
Yes, man. Thank you. Everything indeed is balance. And what a beautiful way to close it as well. The balance. This has been beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.